Hey everyone, this is Chrissy. I'm not on screen today because I'm not feeling that great. But I have so much that I want to say, and I just wanted to first give a shout out to Lady D, Jason and Lady D from Light Warrior Network. They were on last night for over 6 hours. It was an epic historic moment in history, and I am so freaking excited about it because while there are issues that I have with a lot of people, a lot of things that are going on, there's some things that I'm not happy about, but um they basically we have a chance to get our country back, which that was the main thing that I wanted. And so uh anyway, the other reason that I came on here was because I've been talking to hey Mary, hi Carrie. Yeah, I didn't believe it or I didn't sleep very much, obviously. I mean, I was so wired, and then now I've got a little bit of a sore throat, so I'm not on camera today. I'm like, well, I still want to talk about it because it was so epic. And it's so interesting, the mainstream media has done such a brainwash job with regards to Trump. It's amazing to me. I've been talking back and forth with one of my cousins, and she is liberal, and she doesn't even understand. It's hilarious. So I've been going back and forth with her about you have to understand what Trump is trying to do here. This has been an historic moment in history. We were not going to have a country. We were not going to have a country. Hi, Eric. We were not going to have a country if Trump didn't win. And people do not understand that, number one. And number two, I've been trying to explain to her that Trump is not a dictator. We have a constitutional republic. A constitutional republic. And you know what that is? That means that we have three branches of government, and our forefathers put that together because they wanted to have oversight over each one. We have the judicial branch, the executive branch, and the legislative branch. And what's happened is we have had a dictatorship in this country, and it's been the Democrat and the rhinos. We've had a uniparty here for in my estimation, honestly, I feel like since the JFK assassination. That's how I feel. Because of the military-industrial complex and all these other things, that our money, our taxes have been funneled to, have been allowed to grow and take over. And I'm trying to explain to her that we have a very unique country. We're the only country with a constitution, okay? And the constitution is there so that we don't have one dictator. And what's happened in this country is that they took over everything. They control the media. They control the entertainment industry. They control the sports. They control the medicine. They control all of it. The censorship that was going on, it still goes on to this day. So we had that dictatorship, and it wasn't Trump. And the fact of the matter is this, is that in the first 4 years of Trump's administration, he had to fight every moment he tried to do anything. They dragged him to court to block him, subvert the Constitution over and over and over again. And even with what he was up against, he was able to turn this economy back on. Lowest unemployment across the board in our history. Big tax cuts. In 2020, before the pandemic, of course, but in 2020, I mean, gas here was like $1.49 a gallon. I could fill my tank for $20. I mean, and now look, it's almost it's almost $5 a gallon here in Washington State. And I'm trying to explain to my cousin is that, she has a personality issue with Trump. And this is what I want to say to people. You have to take your emotions out of everything. You have to look at the facts. As an investigator, yeah, I look at facts over emotion. And this country has been controlled because the uniparty, as I call it, has used our emotions to drum up public opinion, to put whatever they had in the whatever they wanted to do to implement it. And we're at a point in our country where we need to remove these people who are, they are establishment people. They do not care about human beings. They just want the criminal organization to continue. And that's why they hate him. And I'm not happy with some things. I've said that on my channel many, many times. I'm not happy. Wow, you got Eric Klein, you've got 285. You're lucky. It's like 467 here right now where I'm at. It's insane. But yeah, I'm not happy with JD Vance. He's complete establishment, AI, technocrat, transhumanism person. He's a classically groomed politician. And I proved that on one of my other videos. So I'm not happy that he's there, and I don't even understand why he was picked. It's ridiculous. Other than Peter Thiel is the one that actually chose him. If you look, there were articles about that. But anyway, I digress. My point is that it's so important for everybody to understand that this country has not been God-fear. We lost our core morals and values that the founding fathers founded this country upon. And there's been this, for at least in my opinion, since JFK assassination, there has been a group of individuals who want to destroy this country. They keep talking about getting rid of our Constitution. You know why they want to get rid of it? Because then they can do whatever the fuck they want. Excuse my language. It really angers me that nobody understands, that people don't get that it's so important. And the only person that I know of that has actually followed the Constitution that's been in office is Trump. He follows the Constitution. The other people, they want socialism, they want communism, they want to just have one ruling party that dictates our lives. That's not what our country is about. And I have no problem helping other countries and people who need it, but we need to talk about Americans first. People are suffering. I mean, struggling. You have to make the decision. I have my issue. I worry. Like, I live 45 minutes away from the grocery store. That's how far out I am. Sometimes I have to be like, okay, do I have enough? Should I waste the gas to get there? Should I do this? I mean, it's awful. And we have to get back to taking care of our country, getting these people, these illegals out of here. People don't even understand how the asylum thing works. I mean, like, it's just, it's outrageous. And I've been trying to explain to my cousin, you have to take your emotions out of your whatever personality things that you might not like about Trump. The fact of the matter is that he loves the country. He doesn't want to leave it the way it's been for his grandchildren and children. And we have to get back to a God-fearing country. Roe versus Wade being reversed was huge. People don't understand. I mean, we know because we're awake, but there are so many people that don't get it. And it's so frustrating to me that we're at this moment in history where we can really, really turn the tide and go back to our core values and our core founding under God and get rid of these evil that's been permeated through our country for decades. That's why they hate him. That's why they turned on him. That's why they do all this stuff, and she talked about it's just I just don't understand. I've been so like this has been going on for like 2 hours. I've been back and forth, and so we have to understand we're still in this fight. Like, we can't like, oh, well, he's in, so we can just, back off. No, I'm going to be watching very closely because I'm upset because I don't agree with the technocrat, with the AI, with the transhumanism agenda. And you could look that up. Look up Agenda 2030, look up Agenda 2050. They want to have smart cities and all this, but the smart cities they want to have is like nobody owns a car. It's all about the stupid climate change bullshit, right? They don't want to have everybody can just walk everywhere, or they might have like a monorail or whatever. And it sounds wonderful, like, something out of the Jetsons, right? The Jetsons, remember that show, that cartoon? But we have to be careful because there are, and I see it. I mean, there's so many control mechanisms already in place, so we have to really pay attention to what is being done. Elon Musk, I've said for many, many times, I have a problem with Elon Musk because he plays both sides of the fence. He gets government contracts to run SpaceX. He's working with our deep state government for years, for decades. Okay? So maybe he's not the real, this whole, it's not really the old one, it's the new one, it's 2.0. It says that we don't even know that. I mean, the only thing that I know is I'm going to watch these people and what they do. And it's just, it's just been so crazy. Me trying to explain, how the politics have worked for so many years. I mean, I was talking to her about schools and the fact that, our education system needs to be completely overhauled. You have the people who've been the education chair of the country that's been dictating the curriculum for the education system. They're the ones that have put down, they have activism in school now. They don't even teach the Constitution anymore. They've got this disgusting sex education for the young kids. They're showing literally pornographic photos. I mean, it's ridiculous. When I was an investigator, I used to have to interview children that were, abused, sexual assaults and, molestations and things like that. And the things that I ask is, it's a groomer. When somebody's trying to groom a child, that's what they do. They show them these photos, and then there's the whole progression. But that's what they're doing in schools. They're teaching kids how to like touch people, each other. All this, it's disgusting. We have to go back to what God. We have to look to God. We have to get this country back to a favorable country again. And that's what this election was all about. And I listened to President Trump's speech, and it's just, I think this is the beginning of the restoration of our country. But having said that, we all need to really pay attention to what is being done. And when I say that, we need to look at the executive orders. We need to see what the House and the Senate are doing. And yes, I'm thrilled. I'm excited. I'm ecstatic. We have control. But you have to remember, in 2016, we also had the House, the Senate in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And they could have done a lot of things back then, but they didn't. And I think the reason for that was that they had this 10-year plan of, cleaning out the swamp. That's what my hope is. That's what I believe. I believe that there was a plan in place. And because my friend Dustin and I, I've had Dustin on my show, a few times. And, he thinks that Trump is going to, usher in the transhumanism, usher in the Internet of Things where everybody gets a chip in their head and, we're all controlled like in the Matrix. He still believes that, which, more power to him. I still love him. He's like a younger brother to me, But, but, the bottom line here is that we have to just not sit on our laurels and just, okay, well, it's done. We've got Trump in. That's what we wanted. We have to make sure that the people that are now in place are going to now move forward. And what I want to see is immediate deportation of all of these illegals. I was so angry, when I went to Nevada to see my friend. These people are flying around on a piece of paper, okay? They usher them in. They give them the best seats in the plane. They are, there are hotels all over the country now that aren't even taking actual guests because illegals are staying there. In fact, there's schools. There's been several schools here, actually, where they're telling the American kids to stay home and do the online schooling because they're the illegals are in the school. That's where they're keeping them. I mean, it's disgusting. And here in Washington State is it's a nightmare here. And I feel like we're on this like little island. Nobody cares about us over here. I'm very angry because, our chair of the Washington State Republican Party, which isn't even, it's a uniparty, didn't even ask him to come here for a rally. And it's awful. And here, there's going to be no change because the leadership here, all across the board, King, Pierce, and Snohomish County are our biggest counties here. They have the most population, and that's what's controlled this state for over 50 years, 50 years. And unfortunately, it is so deeply embedded here. The only way things change, I don't even see it changing, honestly, ever here. So the best that I can hope for is that at least if we can get the education system fixed and get rid of these ridiculous mandates for these vaccines and all of that crap, that's what needs to happen. But it's been a very interesting morning, to say the very least. My cousin, she doesn't like the things that Trump says. I'm like, well, what does he say? I'm like, you're listening to mainstream media. I said, why don't you do some research? I said, why don't you look at climate change is a bunch of bullshit. She's all for that. She thinks that Trump is going to, ruin he's going to stop the Paris Accord and he's going to do this. I said, well, yeah, because it's just fake. It's just a money laundering operation. I said to him, and then she mentions Ukraine, and I said, Trump is the only president that didn't have a war. I said, what happened when Biden and Harris got in? They had the Afghan debacle. They had the Zelensky bullshit with the biolabs and the money laundering operations that were uncovered and the Russia-Zelensky war. There were no wars under Trump. So she doesn't even know what she's talking about. And it just, I swear, it's just so frustrating to me that there are still people out there who don't understand what he's trying to do. And this country would have gone the way of the Venezuela. Honestly, that's where we were headed. 20 years ago, Venezuela was very prosperous until they had that dictator show up. And then the whole thing was decimated. The thing is that in order for them to have their new world order or whatever it is that they try and do, these globalists, they have to destroy America. Well, thank you, Jesus. It's not going to happen because we were on the precipice, people. We were on the precipice of destruction. I mean, I'm talking about all of us out here. We probably would have been rounded up. Who knows? Because we didn't like what was going on, and we're outspoken, and we do talk. We say things, and so it's just so maddening to me that people are upset. I don't understand. I really don't. And and I was trying to explain to her, listen, our taxpayer money is what funnels all these things for the criminal organization. And I said, you know, I talked to her a little bit about, like, she doesn't even understand, like, the deportation and all that. I was telling her, there are MS-13 gangs here. There's gangs here. There are terrorists here that have been allowed to come over the border and freely be here. And not only that, they're being put up by our tax money. They need to be immediately deported out and, close that border. And I hope he's able to do that right away because, it just makes me so upset. I guess last night, and I wasn't paying attention to this, my friend actually, one of my friends I talked to this morning, she was so ecstatic because Nevada went red, right? Well, she's in Nevada. Well, anyway, she said, and I didn't even pay attention, I didn't know, but I guess there were a bunch of riots or whatever in Seattle. And the police were trying to, I don't know, round them up. It was Antifa, of course. Freaking Antifa. I mean, they come up every time there's anything going on. So, and there were a lot of ballots that were lost here because they were set on fire. So those are votes that we don't, but I mean, we're not a swing state. I wish we were a swing state because maybe we would get some attention up here. But yeah, so I think that moving forward, we all need to be grateful that this country is now turning the tide to a more godly. I was explaining to her, when Roe versus Wade was reversed, that was amazing. Throwing it back to the states. I mean, and I said to her, nobody talked about my body, my choice when the vaccine was being, tried to be forced down our throats. Nobody talked about that, but you can say my body, my choice to get an abortion? Like, really? And I said, it works both ways. And she didn't even she hadn't looked at it that way. But, it's amazing to me. Just, it's irrational thinking, really. And I told her, I'm like, you have to take a big step back and you have to look at the big picture, and you have to see all the puzzle pieces and see how corrupted it has been for so many decades. These politicians come in, there's no term limits. They come in making $150,000 a year and they leave, they end up bazillionaires and they have homes everywhere because of the backdoor deals that they're doing and because of the crap that they acquiesce to. And then I tried to explain to her how it works with the blackmailing, with the controlling. That's why they've had control for so many years, and she doesn't even understand that. So it's very interesting to me. And I told her, I said, we just have to take our emotions out of it and deal with the facts. And I am going to be watching very closely because if I do see something that I don't feel is right, or if I see something that is going to go towards more of this globalist, crap that they want to do, I will say something because I'm not going to, but I do believe in my heart that Trump is going to right the ship and we're going to be able to get some things done. Because also when I was talking to her, I'm like, in 2020, when he didn't lose, but we know he won. But in 2020, it was so funny because, we were like, of course, devastated. I was like, I can't even believe, like, I was just devastated isn't even the right word. I was just so upset. But then when you look at it, this was a 10-year plan. If you go back to 2015 when he first came down the escalator, and you look at all of it, it's been this big plan. And if it's not, then I'm just as gullible as all. But when you look at it all and look at the things that he's had to endure and had to fight, and he always followed the Constitution. That's the biggest key on all this. The other politicians, they don't care about the Constitution. They want it out. They don't want to do anything. he always follows it, whether it's going to court, whether it's whatever it is. He follows the Constitution. He's the only president that I know of that literally did. He did not weaponize our three-letter agencies and intelligence agencies. They were weaponized against him under Obama. You know, Obama was a huge bad girl, a huge, piece in this whole nightmare that we have right now. And I think I'm getting Jason's cold. I don't know. It's an empathy cold. Anyway, and so I just wanted to come on here and just explain a few things and talk about a few things because I think it's so important. Right now, we need to thank God. Our prayers were answered. People all around the world are rejoicing. This is a moment in history that we are never going to get again. And I'm so grateful that I got to live it and watch it. I'm very upset I never made it to a rally, though. I'm so upset I never made. He said he did last night. His speech. He said he did something like 900 rallies. I couldn't even get to one. It's so upsetting. And anyway, and so. But I finally bought myself a MAGA hat the other day, or like last week. I never even had a MAGA hat this whole time, and it says 4547 on it, so I was really happy. But I finally did buy one. But yeah, and we need to people who have usurped our Constitution. These politicians. I need to see perp walks. I want to see perp walks. I want to see major arrests. And I was very upset the other day, too, because Trump said that Adam Schiff, who is the shadiest character on the planet, that motherfucker, he's going to be a senator still. Like, I don't know if they acquiesced to him or whatever. Maybe he made a deal with them. I don't know. But I was very upset. I think most of these people in Congress should be out. Unless we, the people who we voted in this time should stay and everybody else should be out. And I really hope that they're going to clean house. Somebody told me, I think it was my friend was talking about how that we might start seeing tribunals next year. Like, I hope so. I mean, that's the other thing. And then somebody was saying that that last night Obama and Michelle Big Mike were on a jet to get out of here. I hope they all leave and go underground in their luxury bunkers and stay there. Those snakes, they deserve to be underground. I really. Anyway, it's just been a whirlwind, and I haven't been on for quite a while because I've been working on my book and trying to get that stuff done, and so but it was such an amazing night, and I just feel like I feel very positive this morning. I'm not stressed. It was like last night when they finally announced Pennsylvania, because I was like, why are they waiting on Pennsylvania? I'm like, just call it, right? And I was like, oh my God, but when the minute they did, my entire body relaxed for the first time, and I don't know how long. It was like I sighed this big breath, and I was like, thank God. I mean, it was like, it was better than 2016. And in 2016, let me tell you, I went to bed because I thought, it's rigged. She's going to win. I was like, Hillary, they're going to install her. I'm like, the witch is going to win. And then when I woke up, I'll never forget, my mom called me and said, ding dong, the witch is dead. I'm like, what? I was in shock. And then I was so angry I went to bed. And so this time I'm like, I'm not going to bed. I don't care how long it takes. And I'm so glad that they announced it, because I was worried they were going to drag it out. But I honestly believe that they put the fear of God in these people. There was no way they were going to be able to cheat. There wasn't. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, it was a clip. I think it was Benny Johnson was doing this clip on, the stupid, ridiculous quote rally for Harris. And Harris was, with her cackling and saying, "We're gonna win, win, win," or whatever that was. Or she was saying, "Fight, fight, fight," whatever. And if you looked in the background, nobody had a Harris Waltz sign up. It was all vote, vote to win, vote. That's what their signs were. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I really honestly believe she was never even going to win. She was never even going to. This whole thing, it was a movie. It has to be because of the craziness that's gone on in the last 4 years. Know that wasn't really Biden. I mean, come on. And I think that it was all, I really do, when you take a look at it all from the 2015 to now, it was an elaborate sting operation. And I know they got rid of so many things and they've rescued so many children. And that's really what it's about. Really, it's about saving the children, but also ensuring and securing a future for the children. Because you have to understand, we're here now, but my nieces and nephews and people who are, I worry about my nieces and nephews. They're like from like 20 years old and then younger. And or actually Taylor, my niece that I'm close to, she's 31, but she's awake like we are, which is amazing. I wish I was like that. But anyway, at her age. But that's what it's about. And it's about righting the ship, and hopefully the education system gets cleaned out. Hopefully our pharmaceutical, I'm so grateful RFK Jr. is going to be involved with like getting rid. I really hope they get rid of the CDC, because the CDC is disgusting. I mean, the CDC, the NIH, they need to get rid of the WHO, the WEF. I'm still looking at that, and I hope that happens. But those are globalist, unelected individuals that are running those global entities. The UN. Those are all unelected officials that are running these people who think they know better than everybody else, and it's just like, oh my gosh. So I just wanted to come on real quick and say that, and I'm just so grateful, and onward and upward. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. But thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God, for bringing us back to our country. And I'm so grateful that Trump is in office. And I will try to come back on another time. Probably not probably after Thanksgiving, maybe. I don't know. I do have a book booth thing I'm doing and stuff, and I'm trying to get my book finished. And I will say, as far as my book goes, I'll just talk about it briefly. I'm trying to get books 2 and 3 of the trilogy done, and it hopefully will be relaunched, the full series, in March. So I'm working towards that, but we'll see. I hope I can do it by March. Fingers crossed. So anyway, thank you for letting me sit here and ramble and listening to me go talk to all these things. I just had a few things I needed to say, because I really think it's important we understand where we come from, why we have a constitutional government, why it's so important to keep it, why it was an historic moment that Trump is back on board. In the end, he's a businessman, and that's all that matters. We need a businessman, helping us to, get rid of our deficit. I love the fact he's going to do tariffs. People don't understand that tariffs, that's how our country operated for decades. I want to say up until maybe the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve changed everything in 1913. That's what it was. And, the private bankers, and they didn't want to do that anymore. And the Uniparty, they try to say that, tariffs, oh, we can't do that. That's the, no, because that's how you get your deficit down. We shouldn't even have a deficit. Where's our tax money going? If our tax money wasn't going to everybody else, we wouldn't have a deficit. I mean, think about that. And tariffs, we've been sucked dry. I mean, you talk about our manufacturing it has been gone. They've turned off so many things in this country, and because they want us to be just this big I don't know what you want to call it. They are all vampires, and we're just getting sucked dry. And the American people, most people don't even understand, that that's how it's been working for a very long time. But tariffs is a good thing. You can't do anything unless, we get paid. And not only that, Trump has mentioned it many times, we give these other countries money and they want us to protect them. Like, what? How about let's protect our own country? How about stop giving them money? Once we get, if we get everybody out and everybody, the country, all the governments around the world are fixed, then we can, they can do their own thing. Everybody should be a sovereign nation. There shouldn't be any of this. We should just be worried about ourselves. And that's what needs to happen. We need to worry about ourselves first, fix America, and then we can see if we can help other people. And so that's where I'm at. I'm just, the media, Mary Sanchez, yes, the media needs to be cleaned up for sure, because I died laughing though when Benny Johnson was showing Rachel Maddow. Oh my God, these people. And I love the fact that they were crying. Cry, snowflakes, cry. I mean, really? It's just, I really think too, the entertainment industry needs to be cleaned out. The medical field needs to be cleaned out. I will say here, it's just disgusting. So my mom, I'll tell you this story real quick. My mother, I had to take her to the neurologist last year. And this neurologist was maybe late 30s, I'm going to say. And she kept trying to get my mom to take the booster shot, because my mom got the vaccine because, anyway, it's a long story. I was so upset. She didn't even tell me. I learned way after. But anyway, and my mom says, well, no, I don't think I want to do that. And she kept after her. And I said, listen, do you even understand what's in these things? So I was telling her, everything, like Dr. Simone Gold, Dr. Ardis. I was giving her lots of stuff that RFK Jr. has said. I was giving her facts, and she's like, I said, but can we get back to my mother's appointment, please? Well, no, I'm really fascinated by this. Can you tell me some more? And I'm like, listen, I said, 15 minutes, and I'm giving her all these facts and everything, and I don't even think, and she wouldn't get back to I said 3 times, can we get back to my mom's appointment, please? And finally she gave up, because she, I don't know what her deal was, but she was there to push it. That's what they've been told. That's what they've been indoctrinated to do, these doctors, and because they get money. It's all about the money. So I'm praying and hoping this RV happens, and that we get, money back, and that we can get rid of them. If you remove the issues with money, we can all start living more in harmony, because, we will all be on equal playing field, and we can seek what our mission is, because that's really what we're supposed to be doing down here. People don't even understand that. We're not supposed to be suffering, and we're not supposed to, be, just existing. We're supposed to be living, doing these things for humanity, helping people. That's what life is about. And I think it's so important to figure out, what you're good at, what you like, and then just go. And if you have, if the money comes in, then, you can pursue whatever you want. And there's many programs out there. And it's just a matter of changing the mindset to go back to, what we're supposed to be doing here on earth, which is, shining our light. And our light is basically, using our talents for the better of humanity, teaching, guiding, helping. And we haven't been able to do that for a very long time, because everybody is just so trying to survive, and they created it that way. That's why the Matrix we've been in a Matrix for a very long time. And so those of us who are outside the Matrix, we need to hopefully people are waking up I mean, there's so millions of people are, thank God. I think we're in the Great Awakening for sure. It's been happening for a long time. And I honestly think, that we all decided to come down here during this time to help guide the world into this new golden era, and I'm very excited to be a part of it. I'm excited to be a part of the Soul Tribe. I think it's going to be amazing. And Delphine and I, we are going to plan a Soul Tribe meetup. Trust me, for next year, as soon as the money comes in and we can get a little settled, we're going to do something amazing. It's going to be great. It'll probably be maybe like a 2 or 3 day type thing. You could probably do, like, if you want to do 1 day, 2 days, or whatever, but we'll figure. I have a lot of ideas, and I have a lot of things I've written down that I want to do, that I think, curriculum wise, it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to meet everybody. It's going to be amazing. And when Delphine and I did our manifestation show for the August 8th portal, when we were doing that, I had a vision of all of us. Everybody was hugging each other. We were in some big room somewhere, and I don't know where, but we were all hugging each other, and we were like, oh my gosh, so nice to meet, we were all just together, and it was amazing. And I've had that in my head for a very long time. So it's going to happen. And it's going to be amazing, and I can't wait. I can't wait to meet everybody. I can't wait to, we can commiserate in person, and it's going to be amazing. We're going to have lots of, I think, new adventures, and it's the whole world. Think of the world now as a huge ocean, right, of possibilities. We can do anything. It's going to be amazing. So I just want to say that, and I'm sorry I'm not on camera today. I am just totally not feeling good. I think the excitement and everything is just, kind of, my body's like, ugh. Now it's like, okay, I got to recuperate from all this. But anyway, I love you guys a lot. I'm very grateful to be a part of the Soul Tribe, and thank you again to Jason and Delphine for the epic 6-hour marathon that they did. And poor Jason was not feeling good at all, and I'm so glad that they did our watch party, because I was thinking to myself, there was a watch party here in Washington, where I'm at, but it was like an hour away. And here, I live so far out in the boonies. When it gets dark, there's no lights out here, and I'm just like, I don't feel like going there and driving and everything. And I was like, no, I'm staying home with the Soul Tribe, and I want to, usher in Trump, since we've been so, we've all been together for so long and wanting this for so long. And I thought it was just, it was amazing last night. Almost wish we could relive it, because it was so exciting. It was so exciting. And I mean, there were people, my family, nobody knew until this morning, because they all went to bed. And I was like, oh my gosh. And anyway, it was amazing. Thanks. Anyway, thanks everybody. I am going to sign off. I think I ranted enough. And I love you guys a lot, and I will be back soon. So everybody, hallelujah, God, Jesus, thank you, Jesus, for bringing Trump. We needed him. So, all right, I love you guys. Bye.